Dr. Vanita, now you can start. The program is now live on YouTube.
Okay, okay, okay. You want to start a little bit?
Yeah. Uh, good afternoon to all of you. Myself, Dr. Navin Joshi. I am founder and editor of Ayush Darpan Journal, and you are now live at the platform of Ayush Darpan Journal Facebook page as well as in the YouTube channel, where in Facebook page approximately 38 to 40,000 Ayurvedic doctors are there, and YouTube channel we have 10,000 subscribers. So I first of all I greet all of you on the Happy Teachers Day, especially here Dr. Professor H.M. Chandola sir, who is basically from, he is also from Dehradun. I pay my best regards to Professor H.M. Chandola sir. हम एक ही शहर से हैं सर, और हम we are now in the Zoom in the same in same city, and I also welcome Dr. Arun Gupta, Dr. Rajesh Sharma, Toby and Negi, Rajesh San, and Dr. Vanita Sharma, as well as many others are joining. So, welcome to all of you. Now, Dr. Vanita, you proceed your program. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Naveen. It's such a wonderful day to have all my gurus, my mentors, and my teachers, life mentors, who had been always guiding me, showing me the path like of life. And I would like to thank you, everyone, whoever is joining us today, even as not as a speaker, but even as a audience, and particularly on the occasion of Teachers' Day that we celebrate on every year on 5th of September in memory of Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan, who is known as a teacher par excellence and one of the successful presidents of India. So I'll just start with a quote of the day, and I'll give little speech, and then I would start introducing all my gurus one by one. So there is a quote that was written by one of the teacher's daughter. She wrote, "One child, one book, and one pen can change the world." So rightly said, teachers are the first guiding step in this big world. So without a mentor, a guide, we will all be a bodies without spirit. So when growing up, the only person you tend to respect after your parents is your teacher, your guru. The teacher may not be confined to the four walls. They broaden your mind beyond the walls and shows reflection within the world. They come in in the form of parents, siblings, soulmates, life partners, friends, or simply in the form of even your pets, like because they sometimes guide you and teach you a lot of things in your life. So the small moments in our lives often leave us spellbound with the lessons we may learn otherwise. It's not easy to make your teacher feel special, so I just may use certain quotes to express my gratitude towards all you, my gurus, and my teachers, and my life mentors, to show my honor towards all of you. I thank you very much for making the presence on this special day of the Teachers' Day. And as sometime mentioned by Dr. APJ Kalam, who is known as a example of a teacher. Um, my husband actually got awarded by him in his engineering, for the engineering award, like in the field of engineering, by Dr. Abdul Kalam, and he's a big fan of his, like in life. And the quote he always used to mention, that the educationist should build the capacities of the spirit of inquiry, creativity, entrepreneurial, and the moral leadership among students, and become their role model. Our honorary Indian Prime Minister Modi spoke in his speech about Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan, in the memory of who we are celebrating this day, that he's not there, but we have APJ Kalam to follow his principles, because he is a true educationist. And after who we celebrate the Teachers' Day, he mentioned that teachers are the one who make the generations. And the former president, Pranab Mukherjee, in his speech once mentioned that a teacher gives himself to the student, and it's the job of the student to draw as much knowledge from him or her or his teacher. Chanakya, the minister in Maurya dynasty, mentioned and spoke about the need of teachers for the nation building. And the teachers are the one who build the character of the person more than anything. They are the ones who are the guides in the nation building. So I thank you, all of you, to make your presence today, including I welcome Professor Chandola, Professor Rajesh Sharma ji, Professor Arun Gupta ji, Professor Rajesh San, Professor Dr. Sangita Gupta, and Professor Surinder Katoj. They had been my guiding principles in life. And I would now like to, not taking much of the time, would introduce our chief guest, Professor Chandola, who is, I'll just read, he's retired now, but he's a pioneer in the field of Ayurveda, and he held the position as a professor and a hospital director in Uttaranchal Ayurvedic College and Hospital Dehradun, from where our Dr. Navin Joshi ji is as well. So formerly a director principal in Charak Brahmprakash Ayurved Charak Sansthan, Government of NCT of Delhi, ex-HOD and Dean, IPGT and RA, Gujarat, Jamnagar Ayurved University. So to say a few words about him, he has been an idol for a lot of the upcoming Ayurvedic practitioners, and he's very well acclaimed and known. So I'll hand over to him now, and give us an honor by saying a few words on this special day. Thank you. Thank you. Professor Chandolaji.
Sir, unmute yourself, sir. Sir, unmute. Please unmute, sir.
You're not audible.
Yeah.
Thank
Now,
you.
okay.
Now I am audible to you?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So thank you very much, the moderator, Dr. Vanita Sharma, for organizing this program on the occasion of Teachers' Day, the birthday of the great educationist, our ex-president, Dr. S. Radhakrishnan. I, on behalf of this organization, welcome to today's dignitaries, Professor Arun Gupta from Brahm Prakash Institute, Dr. Navin Joshi from Uttarakhand Ayurveda University, Mr. Toby Nagy, the entrepreneur and business coach, Dr. Rajesh Sharma ji, Dr. Mrs. Surinder Katoch, my friend Dr. Rajesh Sand, and all other persons present here. Today's focus conveyed to me by Dr. Vanita Sharma, that what should be the patient-centric approach and how the different traditional medical system can contribute to the main conventional system for the well-being of the ailing society. You all know The ancient Indian wisdom, Ayurveda, talks about microcosm and macrocosm theory. According to Ayurveda, the human physiology is well integrated with the cosmic physiology. The cosmic air in our body is represented as Vat, and cosmic sun is represented as Pitta, whereas cosmic moon is represented as a Kaf or Shleshma in our body. Whatever changes are taking place in the universe, that has a direct impact on human physiological system. So, other important point of this Ayurvedic science is that total approach of Ayurveda is a psychosomatic. You cannot make watertight compartment between body and mind. What is Ayu? What is life? Life is sum total of body, mind, and soul. So, in that way, approach of Ayurveda is holistic. We have to take person as a whole. Today, Dr. Surinder Katoch is sitting here, who has done a lot of work on psychosomatic constitution, body type, the Prakriti, the Dehamanas Prakriti. And we have seen, because every individual is different. I am different, Dr. Joshi is different, Rajesh Sharma ji may be different, Vanita ji may be different, so far as our temperament is concerned. So when we talk about the disease, we should always keep in mind the Prakriti of an individual. Lot of work has been done how Prakriti plays a role in the progression of disease, prognosis of disease, and also in treatment response. We had work on it. We have seen that a diabetic patient who has Kaphaj type of body constitution, such patients from the very beginning have a trend of mild hyperglycemia. Their blood sugar is not very high. But the Vatic type of people, the person who have Vatic Prakriti, they have from the very beginning severe hyperglycemic pattern. And Pitta Prakriti people have in between moderate type of hyperglycemic pattern. With advancing the disease, the plasma insulin declines rapidly in Vataj body type of diabetic subjects. Whereas the person who have Kaphaj Prakriti, in those people, the pattern of disease that is slow. Insulin does not decline immediately. In that way, we can say that Vataj Prakriti people have poor prognosis. Kaphaj Prakriti people have good prognosis so far as diabetes is concerned. Similarly, on other disease also, a lot of studies have been done on Prakriti. Some of the people are more introvert, some of the people are more extrovert. The people who are more introvert, they are more likely to suffer with psychosomatic disturbances because they are not getting emotional outlet. And the person who has extroversion component in his personality, they get emotional outlet. They do not keep anything inside. So these people are less likely to suffer with the psychosomatic disturbance. Again, this introversion and extroversion has genetic background and also exposure to the environment where they live. The most important point of Ayurveda that is psychoneuroimmunology. Ayurveda says that happiness, harsh, it has Vrangan effect, nourishment type of effect. Vishad or depression, it is the main cause of all the disease condition. Similarly, shock or grief, it has kshaya or decaying or a catabolic effect. So our mental health plays a very important role when it comes to the health or disease condition. Lot of work has been done on psychoneuroimmunology, and it is said that when a thought of pleasure come to mind, different part of brain has shown circulatory changes. When there is a thought of sorrow, when there is a thought of anger, when there is a thought of sex, other part of brain has shown circulatory changes, and scientists have recorded these changes. So in that way, different kind of emotions changes our whole blood biochemistry. When you are under stress, the immunoglobulin level goes down. And that's why we are more susceptible for disorders. During deep meditation, again, blood samples have been collected, and it is seen that immunoglobulin level is promoted, and in that way, immune system is good. So in that way, the meditation has a immune boosting effect, and stress has a immune lowering effect. Nowadays, everyone is talking about COVID-19, corona, and depression and feeling of loneliness has caused number of suicidal deaths due to this corona. So mental health care is needed to be taken during this present crisis. And here Ayurveda and yoga has a synergetic effect. Yoga is also an integral part of Ayurveda because the objective of Ayurveda is a Jivan Mukti and Moksha, salvation. And Ayurveda says how it could be achieved. It could be achieved through the part of yoga. And for that purpose, your body should remain fit. That's why they have discussed the disease and drug. But my friends, the ultimate objective of Ayurveda is Jivan Mukti and Moksha, salvation, liberation. That's why yoga is an integral part of Ayurveda. Now, how these traditional systems can contribute to the main conventional system? A war cannot be won without sword and shield, dhal and talwar. If sword is modern conventional system, the shield is our traditional system, which take care of our defense system. So there is no conflict between Ayurveda or any other traditional system and the main conventional system. I personally feel that both are complementary and supplementary to each other. Somewhere these traditional systems may promote, may potentiate the therapeutic effect of main conventional system, and somewhere it is capable to counteract the adverse effect caused by main conventional system. So it depends upon wisdom of the physician, where he can tackle the problem of the patient by traditional system alone, or where he can take care of the patient with conventional supported by traditional system. Here I will say that we should use organ-specific rasayana. Rasayana are the rejuvenating therapeutic regime. It is not only drug, rather the achar rasayan, the social conduct, the the uh, uh, truthfulness, our deeds, our thought, our words. These are also having a rejuvenating effect. Respectful attitude towards the seniors, towards the parents, towards the teachers. All these have effect on our physiological system. Now, when I talk about the organ-specific rasayana, number of drugs, number of herbs, lot of work has been done scientifically. The drugs like Videnia somnifera, that is ashwagandha, brahmi, bacopa monnieri, convolvulus pluricolis, etc. Acorus calamus. These are the drugs which has shown excellent result on our nervous system to take care of the cerebral system. So if these drugs, these herbs from the very beginning to the healthy individuals are administered from the very beginning, they can take care so that a person can avoid the problem like Alzheimer, the problem like dementia, cerebral atherosclerosis. Nowadays, ischemic heart disease is a very common problem. The drugs like Terminalia arjuna, Inula racemosa, Commiphora whitei, these are the drugs which have shown excellent result on health of the cardiovascular system. Isoprenaline, when it is injected to the experimental animal, it creates myocardial infarction. And when these animals are given extract of this Arjun, Terminalia Arjun and Pushkar Mool, Inula racemosa, the whole pattern of MI is reversed. So to take care of the health of the heart, These herbs can be used. Renal problem, nephropathy. Patients suffer with diabetes. 90% patient of diabetes, they develop ultimately diabetic nephropathy. Here, the drug like Punarnava, Borrelia diffusa, excellent drug having regenerative effect on nephrons. So these drugs can be used. As I told you, diabetes is a very common problem. Lot of work has been done on cinnamomum tamal. We use in our kitchen cinnamomum tamal, that is tejpatra, dalchini, cinnamomum zelenicum, chiraita, swartia chirata, pterocarpus marsupium, vijayasar. Excellent results have been reported in clinical studies, in experimental studies on these herbs. Pterocarpus marsupium has shown regenerative pattern on beta cell. Similarly, Tinospora cordifolia. So what I want to tell you is that a patient who is on oral insulin promoter or who is on insulin therapy, if as a supportive medicine, he or she is given these herbs, which have established a role in this diabetes. So these can be given as a supportive drug to reduce the dose of insulin or the oral insulin promoter. Even the side effect can be taken care better by administering the organ-specific rasayana. Erectile dysfunction, the drugs like micunapurins, the drugs like Videnia somnifera. Excellent results are reported in lot of trials on erectile dysfunction. A very common problem, acid peptic disorder, peptic ulcer, the drug like amla, Perinthus officinalis, have shown good effect on a gastric mucous membrane. Amla is the richest source of vitamin C. The quantity of vitamin C in one single amla fruit is equal to 1 dozen of oranges. So for that purpose, for rasayan purpose, rejuvenating purpose, amla has shown very good results. So in nutshell, I would like to say that the therapeutic effect of Ayurvedic Rasayana herbs should be promoted for healthy individuals as well as the disease subject, as since these herbs have shown effect on particular organ like heart, like kidney, like brain, like pancreas, and so on. So that care should be taken, and wherever found necessary, the biopurification, panchakarma procedure, that can also be used to eradicate the cause from its root. So Ayurveda should be, for research purpose, it is good to identify the alkaloid. But when it comes to therapeutic application, we should use drug as a whole in its natural form, so that natural combination provided by nature in the plant is not disturbed. And from the very beginning, if these rejuvenating drugs are administered, even the genetic susceptibility for a particular disease can be taken care better. So there is no conflict between conventional and traditional system. Both are complementary and supplementary to each other. It depends upon wisdom of the physician how to use them. Where found necessary, the mineral or herbo-mineral formulation can be used with precaution, not for longer duration, and taking care of the age of the patient. So with caution, even the drugs containing heavy metal can also be used if these drugs are prepared as per Ayurvedic methodology. Then these mineral-based formulation can also be used with precaution. Otherwise, so far as herbs are concerned, there is no problem. So Ayurveda, Yoga, and other traditional system can be utilized in a synergistic way with main conventional system. Thank you very much, Dr. Vanita ji, to give me an opportunity to have an interaction with you all. All the best. Keep it up. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Chandolaji. It was such a honor, and I even learned today something like on the Teachers' Day. So again, the learning never ends. Like so, and it's been rightly mentioned by you that definitely there is no conflict between any of the traditional medicines, and the as long as the practitioner knows like how to wisely use in synergistically all the kind of traditional medicines or the conventional medicine, they wouldn't go wrong like in assisting the community or the clients like with any particular conditions. So and a lot of focus definitely is needed, especially with these health crises like COVID. People are a lot suffering from the mental health issues like, and that's another area, and yoga can contribute like there. So definitely I fully agree, and there is that was absolutely wonderful speech by you. Thank you so much for enhancing the learning once more. And now I would like to invite Professor Rajesh Rajesh Sand, and I would just give a brief introduction about him. That he is assistant director in CCRID, and has experience of 20 years in the area of research, and more than 7 years in the teaching. And his research publications, he's done international, about 10 of the international journals, 39 of the national journals, and book chapters about 8, one of the reports, like, and participated in about 65 seminars, symposiums, workshops, trainings, and organized about 10. So he's independently, even with the team, like handled about 12 different projects. And currently his responsibility is like a technical review of various research proposals as program officer and managing editor for Journal for Research in Ayurvedic Science, the official journal of CCRAS. And his area of specialization is Kashar Sutra Chikitsa, which I learned from him, like to assist with people with hemorrhoids and all that kind of like conditions, and fistula in ano, sinuses, and erectile disorders like piles and fistula, and the leech application for various skin disorders. Other achievements, he is a member of 23rd Indian Scientific Expedition to Antarctica in 2003 and 4, and carried out a research project entitled The Effect of Certain Established Ayurvedic Drugs, Rasayana, as Food Supplement on Aging Process in Cold Climatic Condition, which is Antarctica, at Indian Station Maitri project at Antarctica during 10/12/2003 to 4/4/2004. Based on this project, a chapter entitled Adaptogenic Effect of Certain Established Ayurvedic Rasayana Food Supplements in Antarctic Climatic Conditions, a review is published in the review book published by the National Center for Antarctic and Ocean Research, NCAOR, Goa, 5 research publications, 3 in international journals, 2 in national journals, and they also have been published. So currently, he's an assistant director in CARIRD based in Patiala, Punjab, India. So thank you for honoring us, Professor Rajeshji. Please, I welcome you now and hand it over to you to share a few words and the wisdom. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Vanita. I hope I am audible to everyone.
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. And first of all, thank you for such a very elaborate introduction of mine. Now the NCOR has been upgraded to NCPOPR. I mean, it is now Ocean and Polar Research, not only limited to Antarctic research, but both the poles are being covered by this organization now. And presently, a few days back, I have been transferred to RARIND, Mandi, uh, which is an institute dedicated to nutritional deficiency disorders. And I shall be joining there shortly. Uh, on this Teachers' Day, not a particular thing because my specialty is Kshar Sutra, I would like to deliberate on that thing also. I have been to Antarctica to reveal this some adaptogenic effect of Rasayana. I mean, Dr. Chandola, he was my reverend professor, teacher during my PG there. Uh, it has been a very beautiful, just hold on please. Hello. Adi, sorry for the interruption, please. Uh, right now, first of all, I must say something about Kshar Sutra, my specialty. I did my PG in Shalya and I have performed more than 400 operations in this particular field. Now, as such, piles and fistula, both are anorectal diseases, all you know, and with the, especially fistula and ano, it has a very good number of recurrence rate in the conventional surgery. And in Kshar Sutra, what I have felt is it is a very, very successful operation. What we do in this particular thing is ki through probing the track in the NS to the rectal canal from the outside, we put a thread which is treated with some alkaline medicines, herbal medicines, and put it in the tract. Gradually, this tract dissolves and it heals up without any complication to the patient. Merely this is about the Kshar Sutra, my specialty. On this Teachers' Day, I must say that this has been chosen a very wisely this day because in Charak, quotation is there, Kritsana hi loke buddhimatam acharya shatrasya abuddhimatam. That is, the whole world is a teacher for all the wise persons. They teach them everything, every time somehow. But for uh, foolish people, they take the word as a enemy because when they are being told something to knowledgeable, they take it very, offensively. Ke, "Tu kaun hai ji? Why are you doing this to us?" And rightly said by Vinita that teachers are a strongest pillar in nation building as well. As per our field, we must elaborate our strengths to the modern world because no doubt, yat pinde tat brahmande, this is the basic principle of our Ayurveda Panchbhautik theory, which is very basic in our system, that is to be made understand to the people. Pharmacogenomics is adapted as from Prakriti in the modern medicine because now they are individualizing the treatment of people and which have been practiced by us since time immemorial. The Prakriti is nothing but the genetic mapping of and genetic characters which are shown by a person. Taking that lead, I think the people in modern science have started doing pharmacogenomics, and definitely this is a very advanced research nowadays, which we can contribute a lot. Like Dr. Chandola has said that if we can identify and the prakriti of a person, then very well the prognosis of the disease he is suffering from can be postulated, and accordingly the treatment as per the prakriti can be decided uh, to bring out the best of the treatment in Ayurveda. That's how we can complement allopathy as well because allopathy, which is being widely accepted in the whole world, wherever, because what I have always in my mind that generally the allopathy people say that this medicine works 60% good in these much people. This medicine is doing good in 70% people in this. That's why they should be adapted. But my query was always why it is not working in those 40% or 30%. So that is where the Ayurveda part comes in, that because due to the mental status, due to the prakriti of the patient, every medicine cannot act similarly in all the persons. That's where the standardization part of Ayurveda comes as an obstacle in the because when we cannot standardize the humans on which our treatment is going to act, similarly we cannot standardize our medicines and pathies, so that uh, if we standardize our system so called, then we won't be able to treat all the persons equally without any side effects that is being believed by all the person in the world. I think with these words, I thank you, Vinita, and I thank you for making me to meet all my elder teachers here. Thank you, Dr. Chandolaji. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're most welcome, Professor Rajesh. It's always a pleasure. Like, when I talk to you or I see you, whenever I've always you've been a true inspiration in my life, and my career. So thank you so
Thank you very
much.
much. Thank you.
My gratitude to you. And I thank you for honoring us for coming today. So now I would like to go a little bit off Ayurveda, and I would invite Professor Rajesh Sharma ji. Just one Rajesh after the other. So yeah, that's I'm really pleased to introduce Professor Rajesh Sharma, because he's been my guide and my mentor, and he's been a true inspiration in my practical life, and always been there to support in any kind of issues I had in the life, to guide me, and teach me, basically. And I really admire him for what he has accomplished in his life as well. So introducing him, it's not easy, because he's got a long profile. And all I would say is that he's currently a senior lecturer, legal and dispute studies, criminology and justice in RMIT University, Melbourne, Australia, adjunct professor at Academy of International Dispute Resolution and Professional Negotiation, AIDRN, honorary professor, Xiantan University Law School, and he's currently teaching at RMIT University. Before coming to Australia, he was an assistant professor at School of Law, City University of Hong Kong. And Dr. Sharma has been giving training and teaching courses on arbitration, mediation, negotiation, foreign investment, and WTO law, international trade, banking law, foreign investment in Hong Kong, Macau, India, Australia, China, Myanmar, Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, Papua New Guinea, Nepal, and Africa, where he is associated with the African Center for Legal Excellence in Uganda. He has served as a legal advisor to the Macau University of Science and Technology, advised transnational companies on trade and investment policy in China, and has done training courses with and for the WTO and UNITA. Dr. Sharma is the finalist for the ADR Teacher Award 2019 in Australia. So I feel really, really humble in introducing him. He's the first Indian to hold PhD in law from China. And he holds PhD from the Chinese University of Political Science and Law, Beijing, in Master of Business Law from Monash University, Australia, and MPhil from City University in Hong Kong, and the Bachelor of Laws from the University of Delhi. He has received training of arbitrators from World Intellectual Property Organization, Geneva, and International Chamber of Commerce and Chartered Institute of Arbitrators. Dr. Sharma has receiving training of a mediator for community conflict resolution for the Plowshares Institute USA and the Accord Group of Australia. He has also obtained professional training in negotiation of Harvard Law School. He has received training from teachers of WTO Organized, by UNIAS and has researched extensively on arbitration laws of China and India and other Asian countries, investment arbitration, dispute settlement in FTAs, WTE related issues, investment law and mediation, publications in the area of WTO law, international trade, dispute resolution. Um, he published a book with Walters Kluwer titled Dispute Settlement Mechanism. And then he's conducted research and provided expert comments to UN Citrul on mediation and conciliation. So these words include
Yes.
conducting an evaluation of mediation law in Asia, provided expert comments on draft instrument on enforcement of settlement agreement across border, and reported
Now,
possible amendments
doctor,
in
now I'm feeling
Unicitral.
very embarrassed.
So it's a long resume, like,
Yeah.
and I just didn't knew what to cut and what to say.
Yeah.
So all I would do now is I just like hand it over to him,
Yeah,
saying that
please.
he is just a genius, like I
I,
don't know, overqualified, I think.
oh my
So
God.
thank you. I welcome you on board, Rajeshji, and I'll hand it over to you now. Thank you.
Uh, thank you, Vanita ji and everyone. I can just say that I'm feeling very little and feeling very embarrassed sitting in front of all of you, who are such an expert in Ayurveda, and I am not in Ayurveda field. So just by saying that, I can say that I'm a bank bencher in your class. And today is you are giving class to me, and I'm sitting at the back of the bench, learning from you. And it's great. And the moment I heard Professor Chandola talking about it, the whole knowledge about it, and I was very surprised that so many things he said, it's just people do not realize, and we are always running to the doctors to get the medicine. And I'm myself is a diabetic patient. Vanita ji knows that. And the way you explained it, it seems like it's so easy for me to handle my life. It's not the end of my life. It's very easy. I can get out of it. And then when I hear my co-name, Mr. Rajesh Sanad, Dr. Sanad, his research in the ocean and polar area, doing research over there, is the only thing is left now, that he should go to a space and also try the Ayurveda medicine. That's the only thing he can do. And that will be the great experience in that case. What you hear, my background is that is my exposure to Ayurveda has not been that quite often, and not so long. But I can tell you one thing is that my birthplace is in Bihar, in Motihari, which is the place where Gandhi started his Ahimsa Andolan. Over there, my father established an Ayurveda college. So I was a young boy at that time, and we had an Ayurveda college in Motihari. Not many people knew about it. And my father was always saying that this is one kind of education and medicine, or the discipline of a study, which will help the people. And that should be developed. And that's why he invested in that. That's why he established that. So we only knew that. But funnily, we were only calling it, this is more like, eating, like taking the churans, like khata mita goli, like, those kind of sweet and sour candy kind of a medicine. We were thinking about it. And then after that, I went out of Motihari, and then I was studying outside. Then my mother, she falls sick, and she was suffering from cancer. So after all these, like a treatment and everything from Mumbai, we went back, and I was taking care of, and I was hardly 16 years old at that time. So I went back to my home, and we were just waiting and watching, because the doctor said, just wait and watch. When she will die, you don't know. So almost the last month of that, and she was having pain. So again, the professor of that principal of that Ayurveda college, he came and visit us, because we were like a family. He came and I said that, look, you guys have tried everything. So why not you give me some opportunity? Even if I cannot cure at this moment, I can make her feel less pain. And so he started this palliative treatment. And trust me, that last 1 month was so easy for her. So when she passed away, it was not painful for her. And that was our best, thing I can say. And that was my second introduction to Ayurveda. And then I came to Hong Kong. And after 22 years in Hong Kong, I came to Australia. And then guess what? It's a time, I found Vanita ji as my neighbor. And then we got like talking about this Ayurveda, the value of it and other. When I was discovered that I have a like doctor said that I have a diabetes, she said, and she came and said that don't worry, it's so easy, I can give you like few treatment, few medicine, just do this, just do that, you'll be fine, no problem. And yeah, all these things, it worked. In 1 year time, the doctor, after 6 months when I went to doctor, he said that if I get a patient like you, then I will lose my job and I will not get make money, because you have totally control your diabetic in 6 months time. So thanks to her, looking at all these things, I can say that I am a student here. I have not, I cannot claim to be teacher in front of all of you. But I just want to take this opportunity to throw a couple of points which I have discussed with Vanita ji all the time. Now Ayurveda is developing so fast and the government of India is supporting very well, and outside India people are now realizing the potential of it. And the biggest example is that 2 years ago Vanita ji was celebrated, and she was awarded given an award of businesswoman of the year in Australia for her work, relentless work for so many years in Ayurveda. So this was a reward, this was a recognition for her work. But the thing is, the Ayurveda was not recognized and it is not getting the momentum which is done. I have been involved in Hong Kong and in WTO, which you hear, and all those things. In the government to government, they always have a negotiation. And in negotiation, it comes under like, recognition of medical degree, recognition of engineering degree, Ayurveda as a professional, as a doctor, Ayurveda as a like service provider, and Ayurveda as an education. You look at Chinese government, they have their right from the beginning. When China negotiated with Australia their free trade agreement, the whole traditional Chinese medicine group, they had a good coordination with the government. And when the Chinese government put plan that which are the services industry they want Australia to open, they knew that it will be difficult to open the medical services, but they got hold of, like with the help of their own government, they got the traditional Chinese medicine open in Australia. So any traditional Chinese medicine practitioner from Australia, from China, can come to Australia and work. And those people who are working here, they are the one who will recognize the degree. So if they say that this person is recognized, that person can immediately come to Australia and come and work. Why it happened? Because if you look at China has 10, 11 FTA, this kind of free trade agreement. In every agreement, they have managed to include traditional Chinese medicine. And I suggest that all of you are so well, placed and well connected. You should be lobbying with the Indian government through Ayush, through Ministry of Commerce, through Foreign Ministry, and put it together as a strategy that whenever India is negotiating with any kind of a trade deal, which not just trade is a services also, like a professional services, the Ayurveda should be one of the agenda item to discuss, and that should be included. Now, you know that in news that India has already negotiated with USA, but nobody from the profession has lobbied with the Indian government or gone and lobbied with the American government to recognize the Ayurveda degree of India, or the Ayurveda as a profession, or as a service sector which should be open. If it is not happening, if it will not happen, and if our government will not support, then why the foreign government will open their market? And for foreign governments, there is no risk, because they are not, you are not going to compete with their local doctors, because in Australia, in US, they don't have any Ayurveda doctor. They don't have a study. They don't produce local Ayurveda's doctor. It's from India. So that's why it should be there. There is no risk. It will be easy to handle, easy to do it. But this is the one way, like, if you can do it and if you can lobby and the government will put it, then it will show the government policy. It will introduce the government's backing, and it will put in an agenda. It should not be so difficult to do that. And with you guys, like, it should be possible in there. Another thing is there, we look at, I was advising a company to launch a medicine in China, and I did how the launching of new medicine goes. For the allopathic medicine, always there is a problem of side effects. And from Vanita ji, I know so far, I know, like, from her and common sense, is that Ayurveda doesn't have any medicine of Ayurveda has no side effect, if I am right. Maybe some other kind of a thing. So the question is, why the any medicine of Ayurveda should have to go through a rigorous FDA kind of a, like, testing? It can be done in a different way if the side effects are limited. The reason it happens is because the FDA kind of an agency, or any Australian agency, for example, They have no idea about this. Like, Professor, Chandola, when you were talking about tej patta, cinnamon, the moment you put it in a local language, I understood what you were saying. In the same way, if I say that you are using bay leaves, none of the Australian authority will feel the bay leaves have any kind of the side effect. If the medicine has no side effect, because the whole idea and policy of these FDA and all these government regulation is to avoid any kind of side effects or any kind of complication. If these medicine have no side effect, then why should go through the same rigorous process which an allopathic medicine goes through? So it can be shortened the process, and it can be launched quickly in the market, and it can be introduced quickly. So without any such kind of an effect, that can only happen if the professionals like you can prepare a list of medicine, list of those ingredients, and you can talk about, is there any possible side effect of that? If that is clear, then the foreign authorities will have something to rely on. Just by saying it will not work, but this kind of a thing will work. And actually the Chinese professionals, the traditional medicine people, Chinese traditional medicine people, they prepared this kind of a list. So the government can always match that these are the medicine we are using and there's no side effect. So the combination of this may also not have a side effect. Of course, I can understand some people have an allergy of nuts and all those things, but that can be packaged and ingredient can be justified. So if we eliminate those side effects, then the authorities will have an easier life to understand what this medicine is, and then it will be easy to get approval, and so then it will be easy to launch in the market. So that kind of a thing. So again, and the third part of this one is always like Vanita ji always text my, always we discuss about that what about the education? If somebody I say that Professor Rajesh Sanad and Professor Chandola, the amount of knowledge you have in your what you have experienced. Now, assuming if you are coming to Australia and you want to advise some client and you want to give medicine, is it the fair that the Australian government will say that, oh, I will not recognize your degree in Ayurveda just because you have not taken this education in Australia? I mean, you are far, way beyond authority in that field. So how any person in Australia without any such kind of a knowledge and experience can judge you and say that whether you are recognized or not? Again, this can be done again through the government, through the same route, the way you get your Ayurveda medicine and your Ayurveda knowledge through the FTA, the free trade agreement or the government to government cooperation. If the mutual recognition of degree is there, then any experts can come, work, educate the other people, and it can be done. So I just want to take this idea to say that from my legal angle, as you may say that, to help you to say that you should be working this way to the government, because everything has to come through a kind of a legislative process, a kind of a legal route. And this is the simple legal route it can be done. And I'm sure if Indian government goes to the table and tells any government that I want my Ayurveda degrees, medicine, and the profession as a services to be recognized, and I'm sure no government will say no to it. So with this word, I like to thank all of you for your time and attention, and thank you for inviting me. I'm just a
Thank
small
you so
potato in
much.
front
Thank
of you.
you very,
Thank you.
very, my deep gratitude again, as always, I have in my heart, because not even coming from the Ayurvedic fraternity, Rajeshji, and giving such a priceless and enlightening and putting sort of so much uh, guiding us what's the pathway to get Ayurveda here, especially in Australia, because that's very true that we feel sorry that we can't invite such a learned professors our Dr. Chandola, Dr. Arun Gupta, and Dr. Rajesh and all Dr. Navin. They have such a vast knowledge and experience in the Ayurvedic fraternity. So it's much needed in Australia. a support from the Indian government, which is the most important thing, as you mentioned. I think like that's where we need the assistance from Ayush, like to push it like through the Department of Foreign Trade and all that. So thank you. I would like to again, like we are so blessed and honored to get this priceless advice, like, you know, free of cost. We didn't pay anything. So that's my gift on my Teachers Day. And thank you so much. And now I would like to invite another pioneer, Professor Arun Gupta, who has been my professor, like in my Dhanvantri Ayurvedic College, from Chandigarh, from where I graduated. So he's been my professor there, and he's currently like in Charak Brahm Prakash Ayurveda Charak Sansthan, and he's been working with and a student of Dr. Chandolaji, and even like he's the one who actually referred me that I should invite you. So thank you, Professor Arun, and I would like to say that he's currently he's a professor and head of the department in Charaka Brahm Prakash Ayurved Charak Sansthan, and he's been doing like a published about 2 books, and the research paper is about 27, and copyrights management of subclinical hypothyroidism with Shirodhara. And he has not only worked in India but overseas, even in Hungary, as a Panchkarma specialist with Calendula Ayurvedic Clinic, SIOFA, from 2008 till 2010. And he's delivered lectures on Ayurveda and Panchakarma in various countries. Also participated in the workshop of Hungarian Association of Naturopaths, participated in Conference of National Outpatients of Hungary, Europe, even in Ukraine, Budapest, Russia, and Dubai. He has delivered various lectures and played the role of a lecturer. So his main other achievements are that he just in 2016 March, he organized a program named Woman Shatakam. The kind of program was done first time in the history of Ayurveda as a mega event with a target of 100 woman karma in one day to promote the concept of woman among students as well as general public. So that was conducted on 5th of March 2017 and got recorded in India Book of Records for maximum 142 number of patients undergoing woman therapy in a single day. So he is the one who started a certificate course for Panchkarma assistant at Charak Sansthan, like CBPACS, and worked as advisor Institute of Tourism and Future Management Trends in Chandigarh, and has participated as an expert on radio and TV shows in the field of Ayurveda. He's appeared on French television as an expert guest speaker in many various programs sponsored by the government of India, as well as he was selected as a member of the team to prepare the syllabus and participate in postgraduate level teaching of Ayurveda for Hungarian medical universities in Hungary, and organized 13 training programs in Panchakarma, worked as inspector and hearing committee for CCIM regarding affiliation recognition of Ayurvedic colleges. And he has invited as an expert member by Rashtriya Ayurveda Vidyapeeth to design the syllabus or the curriculum, contributed chapters, author for online modules, and conducted so many workshops that I'm getting short of time to actually describe even how much he has done, especially he attended the Marma therapy course at Medanta Gurugram organized by Tirumula Varmalogy Institute, Coimbatore, and SOP for NASE, Organized All India Institute of Ayurveda, as well as participated in resource person in CME for the teachers of Panchkarma, organized by Institute of Postgraduate Ayurvedic Education and Research, Kolkata, sponsored by Ministry of Ayush. GOI worked as a principal investigator in clinical trials sponsored by Dabur India. Now I would like to. I get tired of reading, like, the accomplishment. So I can see how much effort is there, like, in doing all that. Like, it's much beyond my imagination. What all you, including Professor Arun Gupta, he's been my real inspiration, because he was the one with whose inspiration I actually started doing the Panchakarma. And I even did a course like in Dhanvantri Ayurvedic college, like, where we had all these, like, wide experts, a number of experts who came and shared their wisdom and experience with us and taught us, like, gave the training in Panchakarma as well. So thank you for coming today, Professor Arun, and I would like to now invite you and share your wisdom and few words with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Vanita. So I will be actually, my device has some problem now, so I'm sharing my talk from Dr. Sangita's device. So thank you for this opportunity. It is really a nice interaction, and so much vast field of knowledgeable persons are from the all the globe you have invited, and we are also gaining so many and learning so many things. Like from Rajesh Sharma ji, we learned so many things now, how India can really move ahead and make Ayurveda globally acceptable. Dr. Chandola ji is like mentor of many mentors. So Bhishma Pitama ji ki tarah, Dr. Chandola has carved all of us to become the speakers of Ayurveda, you can say. Because what I feel is that a teacher cannot be a teacher without good students. So I am proud that Vanita, because I think it is more than 15 years back when she came to attend the program what we organized in Panchkarma. The fire I had seen in her at that time, that day only I realized that she will do some wonders, because very few Ayurveda students have really that fire to bring Ayurveda to the masses, and this is what is required nowadays. I offered her my place. You use this place and do whatever you want to do, because I want some bombshells of Ayurveda to make the impact of Ayurveda on the people. And go ahead, go ahead. And then suddenly she progressed so much. In the meantime, I went to Europe. I worked there for a few years, and I realized that now only, I think it last 1 year only, we again met each other, and I was surprised to see the developmental work she is doing in Australia and bringing Ayurveda legally acceptable in that country also, and doing a lot of courses and designing teaching curriculum also. Really hats off to you, and I congratulate you, and I wish you all the best to improve all this skill, whatever you are trying to do. In Vedas, there is a quotation that Satat Adhyayanam Sambhasha Partantar Avalokanam Tad Vid Acharya Seva Buddhi Medha Karoganam. That if we want to increase our knowledge, what we need is four factors are important. One is constant study, but just study is not enough. You have to do a lot of discussion with your peers. When you do discussion, a lot of things come out. Like in the past years, in the centuries old things, there were tadvid sambhashas. Sambhashas were happening, and it was told that a teacher is expressing the good rahasya, mean the hidden secrets came out in the sambhasha. Uh, and the third important is partantar avalokanam. This means that we have to look at the contemporary sciences and the contemporary knowledge, whatever the world has got. Like when we say that stethoscope is a development of not allopathy, MRI is not a development of allopathy. MRI, CT scan, echocardiography, these are all inventions of the physics. So like a allopathic doctor can use them as a tool for diagnosis and for treatment. Similarly, Ayurveda people have equal right to use these inventions, use these machines for their, uh, to add on to their skill. Like Dr. Chandola said, that sword and the shield, the same factor. If we have a very good shield, but we need a sword, so that sword is also required, and we can use all these tools also for that. Second, uh, the fourth factor is tad vid acharya seva, means you are very knowledgeable, you have done a lot of discussion, you have seen the other fields also, but if you are not staying in close contact with your guru or with the expert of that field where you want to excel, you can be a failure anytime. So that guru is like a kind of protection to you whenever you will find any problem in your career with your patients or dealing with some herbs or anything. Your guru is the one who can help you with his experience. So always stay in touch with your guru. So this Teachers Day or Guru Purnima, these kind of occasions are just reminding us the importance of a guru, and all of us should stay in close contact with our guru. It can be our mother, father, child, everybody now is a guru. But the guru of the same field in which we want to excel and we want to work should always be very close to our hearts, very close to our ears, so that we can listen to him. Second, we should always have that courage to go and make Ayurveda popular. So chikitsa, if we are only preaching Ayurveda, this is not going to help. We have to show our skills by the real treatment. Again, there is a quotation: क्वचित अर्था क्वचित धर्मा क्वचित मैत्री क्वचित यशा कर्म अभ्यास कदाचित चिकित्सा नास्ति निष्फला. Means that whenever we want to do treatment, it is never going to be failure, it is never going to be useless. Sometimes it can earn us some money, sometimes it can just give us some popularity, sometimes it can be just our duty, sometimes it can fetch us some friends, or sometimes it will give us a practice. At least we will learn. That is why it is called as clinical practice, because we are practicing on every patient, we are learning from every patient, and slowly and steadily we keep on learning. So that learning and that presentation of learning are two different things. In Hindi there is a saying, vidya kantki maya gantki. No matter how much knowledgeable you are, but whatever knowledge you carry in your throat, in your kant, and you can reproduce that knowledge in a that manner that people can understand your language. As Rajesh Sharma ji rightly said, that whatever we are having knowledge in India is good, but if you are not able to reproduce it to the other countries and tell them that yes, this has no side effect, this is the list that you can use without any doubt, this is the list where you can do some experimentation, this is the list which you can say that with some precautions you can use it, then only we are going to make Ayurveda globally acceptable. While learning in Europe, I realized this, that people there are following you word by word. If you will say drink 1 liter of water, they will drink exactly 1 liter, not 900 ml, not 1100 ml. Take this medicine at 6 p.m. means they will take the medicine at 6 p.m., not at 6 minutes past 6 p.m. So Ayurveda SOPs have to be built. And now this process is going on. Now the latest development is that Ayush ministry in India, because no pathy can survive without government patronage. And now the government is giving full support to Ayurveda. It is the right time. Global acceptance is being done. There is now international classification of diseases according to the Ayurveda parameters. Dr. Chandola has done a lot of work on that Charak Samhita, which was made contemporary in the today's context. So in the WHO now there is a Ayush chair where people are trying to bring Ayurveda acceptable by the WHO principles, and universally there can be one syllabus for teaching of Ayurveda. All the developments are going on very well. The idea behind organizing this Vaman Shatkam kind of events is again to just bring the confidence in the students, because being a professor of Panchkarma, I realized that Vaman is the most difficult thing and people were very scared of it. So I thought one day that whoever student takes graduation or post graduations from Chaudhary Brahmprakash Ayurveda Sansthan, he should not have any fear of at least Vaman Karma. So we made it a annual feast that you have to do so many women, you will see so many women, then there is no fear. What will happen? Or you have seen all the complications, you have managed so many patients, then this brings the confidence. And this is confident Ayurvedic physicians, what we want to create, who can be the global messengers of Ayurveda. Ayurveda is very good, it can do that, it can do wonders. This will not work, this will not work. We have to make all the standard operative procedures. We have to write all the publications, research work. Recently, our hospital is a COVID hospital, and you will be surprised. And I want our hospital also to be congratulated for this, that it is the first Ayurvedic hospital in the world which is treating the COVID patients. We have treated more than 1,000 COVID patients. And when in the beginning it was so much hesitation, should we take COVID patient? There was a fear. Even allopathic hospitals were not accepting to convert their hospital for a repurposed COVID hospital. But we as a Ayurveda thought that this is the right time to prove that yes, Ayurveda can work. And we took this opportunity. We converted 170 beds for COVID. And as Chindula sir said about the Harsh and the psycho neuro immunomodulation of the diseases, this is what we did with the first patient. The first patient came, and what we realized that medicine is a second part. We will do the adravya bhut chikitsa. We will not use any medicine. And first of all, the important thing was the fear of that patient, the fear in the mind of this patient about the COVID disease. So we started happiness therapy in our wards, Om chanting, mantra chanting, dancing on Daler Mehndi songs, bhajan, and chutkulas. All it became a family. We uh, we told them no individual rooms. We will keep you in wards only, where there will be at least 10 to 15 patients, and they will be like a family, because all are COVID, all have fear. No COVID negative healthcare worker wants to have more interaction with them. Everybody wants to keep away from them. So these 10, 15 people in one ward, they are like batchmates, they are friends, they have to take care of themselves with each other, help. And every doctor was going, nurses were going, they were doing the therapies, happiness therapy classes. So it became very popular. Even the patients who were admitted in allopathic hospitals, they wanted to be referred to Chaudhary Brahmprakash, because they think that the food there is very good, the environment there is very good, and in addition to that, the kada, the decoction, the tea, the herbal tea. We made a protocol. We were giving Sanshamni Vati, we were giving some Nagradi Kwath, Amlaki Churan, golden milk. So we made a protocol, and we did a lot of research and documented that research. Soon that research paper will be published also. And we realized that many things were happening which were like myth breaking. Like the recovery rate in patients above 50 years of age was more than the recovery rate in patients who were 20 to 35 years of age. 90 years old patients survived very well without any symptoms, going into hypoxia or requiring any ventilator support. And this was so interesting and so amazing. Slowly and steadily, our confidence also started building up, and we started experimenting a lot of things, and proving that yes, Ayurveda is a science. Ayurveda is not a folklore medicine. Ayurveda has some scientific basis, and if practiced with confidence and in the right way, it can do wonders. So that initiative is required. Then we worked on the breath, because we understood that whenever we have any emotional instability, whenever we are in a fear, whenever we are having any kind of emotional upset, the breath rate becomes fast. There is instability of the breath. So we started working it that control your breath, you will be able to control your fear. And if you are able to control your fear, you will be able to control your nervous system. If your nervous system is controlled, then your neuroimmuno hormones, everything will be done properly, and immunity can be better your fighting and your resistance with this COVID will be better if you are having control over your breath. So we started doing the breathing exercises, pranayama regularly without any failure every day, morning and evening. There were like fixed times when every patient has to do it, and patients really started feeling great with that. So I think that if we want to make a combination of the Ayurveda and allopathic medicine, first of all, we have to prove, document whatever we do, and a lot of research papers need to be published. Publications are very important, and those publications are to be very standardized according to the parameters. It cannot be necessarily the modern parameters. We have to develop our own parameters. Like we know that opium, if given in humans, it will cause constipation, but opium, if given to the monkeys, it will cause diarrhea. So animal experimentation cannot be an answer to the human experimentation. Everything can work differently, but even we say that the same medicine will work differently in each human. Like Chandola said in the beginning that Vanita will need different things, I will need different things, and Sharmaji will need different. One person having 20 cups of coffee having no problem, other person having 1 cup of coffee and he can have acidity. So when the same thing is not reacting same way in 5 different individuals, how can you expect that the experimentation can be done on the same parameters at the allopathic medicine, that you give paracetamol and it should lower the temperature in every person? So a wrong medication. When I did my PhD work on hypothyroidism, I was surprised to see that 99% of patients are taking wrong medication. They don't need the hormone replacement therapy, and doctors are unnecessarily putting them on hormone replacement therapy just to mint money without knowing that when you put on hormone replacement therapy, that patient has to undergo testing every 6 months. And that medicine, they say that you don't have to stop this medicine whole your life. If everything has to be taken whole life, then where lies the treatment? You have blood pressure, take the medicine for all life. You have diabetes, take medicine for whole life. You have acidity, take medicine for whole life. You have allergy, take medicine for whole life. Thyroid, take medicine for whole life. Insomnia, take medicine for whole life. Constipation, take medicine for whole life. Where is the treatment? So just being good in cutting, in doing surgery, and again 90% of surgeries are avoidable. They should not be done. After surgery, patient is getting more problems rather than without surgery. So only 10% surgeries which are life-saving surgeries should be done. Other surgeries can be avoided, including the cesarean section. It was a study done in India that in private hospitals, the rate of cesarean section was 90%, and in government section, the rate of normal deliveries was 90%. So it means that unnecessary these surgeries were done. Normal deliveries could happen if given time. But if you want to finish your work from 9 to 5, delivery should not be happen in the night. It should not happen after 5 p.m. So cut the stomach at 2 o'clock and finish the work and go home at 5. No, this is not going to work. This is what is the strength of Ayurveda. Ayurveda, now for COVID, like we say, increase immunity, increase immunity. No, 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 no. Immunity cannot be built in one day. Now comes Corona and you say now build immunity. After taking Giloy, immunity will be very good. This is a wrong conception. This is a myth. Immunity depends on what your mother was eating when you were in her womb. Immunity depends what was the psychological status of your father when he was meeting your mother. So immunity has many factors. Immunity is in which jati, in which kul you have got your birth. Just Giloy will not give you immunity. Immunity will come when you know how to work according to you, when you know what to do, what not to do, when to sleep, when to get up, which kind of job is good for you, whether you are good for a 100-meter race or you are good for a marathon, how much you are dragging your body, when are you able to see the early symptoms of the disease. In Ayurveda, the Shad Kriya Kal, Sanchaya Prakop Prasar Sthan Sanshray Vyakti Bhed, these are the 6 stages of a disease. 3 stages, not one, 3 stages. You can treat yourself at home if you know what is the cause of the disease and how to treat it, just by some small changes in your diet. In the next 2 stages, you need some kind of medication, and a doctor or a Vaidya can help you in that. In 6th stage, the stage of complications, nobody is going to help, only God can help. Just pray. Like if you have a kidney failure, and then don't expect that some small herbs are going to help you. Maybe God will help you, or you will go to God to take help. So anything can happen. So teacher and student relation has to be continued. We have to make it better by mutual communication. Now, students can be like Eklavya also. Like I had learned many things from many teachers, even without uh, meeting them, just by listening that person is doing that, and I just explored it more and more. Any clue, and just start doing, working on it, like Vanita is doing, because she wanted to do. So that fire of doing is what imbibes you, which can make you eklavya, and slowly this eklavya can convert into guru drone. Now is the time when every eklavya has to convert himself into guru drone, not just cutting his uh, thumb and giving as a guru dakshina. That is the need of the hour. Thank you very much for inviting and making my point to this seminar.
Thank you so much. Like Professor Arunji and even Rajeshji, like you both have been so humble in putting insight on my working, and comparing with a club. I'm far off, like from a club. I don't know when I'm going to be thrown, but I feel happy and privileged to be in contact with all you pioneers and such a learned geniuses in my life. Like, so I'm already blessed, and I'm in the same position as you said. Like, I have learned from far, whether you guys have been in my life, like, or away from me, whether we have been in touch, but I always kept a track, like who is doing what and where, and I always followed the path and the footsteps for all my mentors, like my gurus. And thank you so much for honoring us. Now I would invite another mentor of ours, like Dr. Professor Surinder Katoch. She's the founder and director of Katoch Holistic Health Center, and Ayurvedic physician and yoga expert. And she's a holistic health consultant and specialist in lifestyle counseling and psycho counseling, and a postgraduate in Ayurveda from National Institute of Ayurveda, Jaipur, India, and has done diploma in nutrition and health education and certified course in yoga from Delhi, India. And Dr. Katoch has worked as a lecturer in Dayanand Ayurvedic College, Jalandhar, Punjab, as assistant professor in Dhanvantri Ayurvedic College, Chandigarh, from where I have known her, and as a medical officer in Moolchand Kherati Ram Hospital, New Delhi, as well as Moraji Desai National Institute of Yoga, New Delhi. And she's a post-graduation, she's done a research work was aimed at developing a comprehensive questionnaire analysis of Prakriti, body, mind constitution of individuals, and has successfully using this for diagnosis, prognosis, prevention, treatment of diseases, and providing health promoting guidelines according to the given characteristic of the individual. So backed by more than 30 years of professional experience and post-graduation, and during her service in various prestigious institutes, she has gained command over integrated way of handling complicated but challenging health problems. She is currently one of the most sought after doctor for preventive and promotive healthcare through her unique scientific way of understanding the real cause to illness, rooted mostly in the erratic lifestyle, and guiding the patients with corresponding corrective measures prescribed in classical Ayurveda. So she has been invited as a guest speaker, resource person to various national and international conferences, seminars in Ayurveda and yoga, and was sent by Government of India to Europe, Hungary in 2008 under a continuous medical education program to train the health professionals. And to say more, there is a long list, like again, I just can't complete it, like for any one of you. It's just like she's currently taking like lectures on Ayurveda and Ayurvedic cooking classes. Like in June 2017, she was deputed as a resource person by the Government of India for Ayurveda Symposium at St. Petersburg, Russia, with main aim propagating Ayurveda. So her aim is to create public awareness regarding potentials of Ayurveda and promote preventive, promotive, curative healthcare aspects worldwide. And I was privileged to meet her life partner, advisor Ayush, Dr. Dinesh Katochji in Netherlands in the International Congress that I went as a speaker as well. So he was also a part of the panel discussion to propagate Ayurveda in Australia. When I got to see him, and then I came to know so I came in contact with Dr. Katoch at that moment, 2 years back. So I'm really happy to be back in contact. And now I would invite you to come on and share your wisdom with all others, including myself. Thank you.
Thank you a lot, Vanita. And being a Teacher's Day today, just a moment. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
You are audible.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. And I thank you, Vanita, and I really appreciate the type of work you are doing right now. It's really commendable. And these are the type of students which are required for teachers like us. And you give same to teachers like us, you know. So it's really a commendable work which you are doing.
Thank you.
And I've heard all of you, and I was very happy sitting the whole time and hearing all of you, and wonderful talk, wonderful wisdom by all of you. And almost everyone, Dr. Sandola, Dr. Arun Gupta, all mentioned about Prakriti. That is the individualized approach of Ayurveda, which is the beauty of Ayurveda. And this is completely the drugless therapy of Ayurveda. When we work upon Prakriti, that means we are working upon the complete lifestyle. And majority of the diseases of today are lifestyle-oriented diseases. And I am basically a lifestyle counselor and a psycho-counselor in Ayurveda. Being a Prakriti analyst, I always go forward whether I have to give a fitness program to a person is healthy and requires a fitness program, or a person is diseased and wants treatment. In both the cases, the first and the foremost thing which I do is doing the Prakriti analysis of a person. Because that is the individualized approach and the beauty of Ayurveda. And this Prakriti analysis, not only of body, because usually it is done at the global level, just seeing the Vata, Pitta and Kapha constitution of a person. So we don't just leave it there. We also go ahead for the mental level, the Sattvic, Rajasic and the Tamasic level. So when we go ahead with all these, that is where the point comes, as Dr. Arun Gupta was also saying, the Shat Kriya Kal. That is where the point comes, Sankshiptaha Kriya Yogo Nidan Parivarjanam. That means initially what is in a summarized form the treatment, that is stop the causes. Because karan se hi karya ki utpatti hoti hai. So stop the causes. When we do a detailed Prakriti analysis of a person, which takes round about 4 to 5 sessions to do it, we get all the causes. Because that is where, again, the main philosophy of Ayurveda, that who is a Chikitsak, who is the one who can enter into treatment, and treatment never fails. What is the root behind that? It is said that Tattva Jnana lekar चिकित्सक रोगी की अंतर आत्मा तक पहुंच जाए तो चिकित्सा कभी निष्फल नहीं होती. That is, we need to touch the soul of the patient. That is the patient care approach of Ayurveda. So that happens when we do the detailed study of the Prakriti of a person. We come to know all the causes right from childhood till date. Rather, before the child was born, because the questions are also put to the mother of the child or the patient, that what did you do during pregnancy? As Dr. Arun rightly mentioned, that the causes come during pregnancy when the child is in the fetal life. So that is where we scrutinize all the causes, and the causes also at the level of physical level, mental level, social level, and spiritual level. So once we do this whole study and scrutinize all the causes, then the only thing is stop the causes. That is the treatment. And the causes are again at the four levels. It's ahar, vihar, achar, and vichar. You do something wrong at the food level, or at the daily schedule level, or in your conduct or your behavior, or in your thoughts. There are causes that somewhere something going wrong in any one or in all the four. That becomes the cause of a disease. So we need to first scrutinize that cause at all the four levels, ahar, vihar, achar, vichar, and then stop the causes. So once we stop the causes, we tell the person, once we do the whole Prakriti analysis, we scrutinize all these causes and we make a list, and then we give to the patient that, madam or sir, these are the causes by which you are entering into a disease status. Therefore, the first line of treatment of the action plan is stop these causes. And that is where we put a break at the pathogenesis, the samprapti. Samprapti vighatan hi chikitsa hai. So that is what it is, because samprapti will further happen with those dusha samochna. All these doshas will club up with the dushyas, and that is where how the pathogenesis starts. So we put a break at the pathogenesis. Once that break is put, the treatment starts. So at this level, we are not giving any medicine to the patient. No medicine. Because what when we do the lifestyle program, we say that you did something wrong in your lifestyle, maybe at the food level, maybe in the daily schedule level, maybe in your behavior or the conduct level, or maybe in your thought level. Whatever wrong you did, we are giving you a list, stop that. Now the treatment starts. And in that treatment, we give a complete programming, which is called a holistic health promoting guidelines. And these holistic health promoting guidelines are given even to a person, Swasthya Swasthya Rakshanam, which is the first motto of Ayurveda. Because Ayurveda has two main objectives. The first objective is Swasthya Swasthya Rakshanam. We talk about diseases, we talk about treatment, but we don't talk about the maintenance and the preservation of health of healthy individuals. So that a person is not diseased only. What to do so that we prevent ourselves from diseases? Because the parameter of Ayurveda, as well as the preventive and the promotive, is too much. We have so much knowledge regarding this in Ayurveda, where we enter into the preventive and the promotive healthcare strategy. There is huge knowledge regarding this, but this knowledge is not being implemented, and as Dr. Arun rightly said, is not being documented also. We are working upon this a lot, and patients, and we are giving fitness programs also. Patients and healthy individuals are being highly benefited also with this, but yes, documentation is required. So in holistic health promoting guidelines, we give first all the causes, then we work upon diet. Because we say food is your medicine, but we need to know what. Kitchen is your factory, but we need to know what. That is based upon according to your constitution, the constitution of body as well as mind. So that is where when we talk about nutrition, what to eat, when to eat, how much to eat, what to do before food, what to do after food, because whatever we are eating needs to be digested properly. Until unless it is not digested. Like for example, for diabetic patients, because I am attached with the Delhi Diabetes Research Foundation, I'm in Delhi. So from more than 15 years, every year we have a diabetes mela. And all super specialists of Delhi are there in that mela, and I'm the only Ayurvedist over there. And the whole lifestyle program I take care in that diabetes program. We have also entered into the Guinness Book of World Record in that also, which was 2 years back. So the whole lifestyle program we give in that Mela also. So in diabetic patients also, which is very commonly said that as far as food is concerned, the knowledge being given at the global level for diabetics is every 2 hours you eat something. And this is to prevent yourself from hypoglycemia. To eat everything, to eat something after every 2 hours, this is not at all the concept of Ayurveda. No. When I treat diabetic patients, I never say this sentence from the Ayurvedic point of view. Right now also, like I have a diabetic patient and she had all major symptoms, and all insomnia and number of symptoms. But the dietary guidelines which I gave to her was dvi-carb bhoji. Ek carb bhoji is equal to yogi. Ek carb bhoji is equal to yogi. Dvi-carb bhoji is equal to bhogi, and tri-carb bhoji is equal to rogi. And what they said nowadays is 4 to 6 times you eat in a day, which is not at all the concept of Ayurveda. What is happening with this is you are eating after every 2 hours. You are not allowing your digestive system to digest that food properly. The food will not be digested properly. Undigested food material will be entering into circulation. That will end up into the formation of amavastha. And that amavastha will never keep you healthy. That is always going to make you diseased. So the most important thing in food is whatever you eat that needs to be digested properly. If that, then only your normal tissues and body tissues will be formed. Otherwise, the good body tissues will not be formed. Therefore, once we talk about diet, it is very important what to eat, when to eat, how much to eat. Lot of wrong things are happening in dietetics as far as Ayurveda is concerned. Because Ayurveda dietetics, then we are talking about collaboration of both the knowledge and using this Ayurvedic knowledge with the contemporary knowledge. I'm sorry to say that there are certain things which don't match at all as far as the dietetics is concerned. Because I did my 4 years course of DNHE, Diploma in Nutrition and Health Education from IGNOU, Delhi, and the course was curd. And that time I was working as a medical officer in Morarji Desai National Institute of Yoga. I was appointed there. And there we had a dietitian who was from conventional system, the modern dietetics. And there was a patient who was diabetic and ischemic heart disease patient. He had both the conditions. So he asked me, doctor, what to eat, what not to eat. The list which I gave in that was curd was contraindicated. And then I told him to take the list of food from the dietitian. He bought the list, he came to me and he said, doctor, I am confused. I said, what is the confusion? He said, you told me don't have curd, and the list tells me consume curd morning as well as evening, both, every day. The patient was in confusion. So there is a huge difference in dietetics, the Ayurvedic dietetics and modern dietetics. Because Ayurveda works upon the quality of the food. There is a quality named as Abhishyandi Gun in curd, which has the property to block the channels of the body. Therefore, whenever a disease is produced by blockage of channels, we contraindicate curd. So that is where, as far as dietetics, a lot of knowledge is coming nowadays. Gluten-free diet. Gluten-free diet, because I am attached here with lot of nutritionists with the modern dietetics. So when they call me, I said, sorry, there will be a bomb blast as far as dietetics is concerned. Because I am going to talk so many things about dietetics which you all modern nutritionists are sitting, you will not accept it at all. But I have my Aptodesh. Ayurveda science is best tested science. So I don't want to do any research in that. If you don't agree, you proceed further for the research. You do the research. I am happy with whatever has been told because it is a time-tested knowledge. So therefore, in that case, why gluten-free? Why everybody should be gluten-free? This is coming up nowadays. And everything comes from the Harvard University only, goes at the global level. Having a lot of salad, there is no need to have so much salad because salad bars are open. So there is a lot of difference in dietetics. So therefore, we go to the individualized approach, give a complete dietetics pattern as far as what to eat, when to eat, how to eat, how much to eat, what to do before food, what to do after food, so that whatever a person has eaten has to be digested properly. Then I give the list, what is do's and don'ts in cereals, in fruits, in vegetables, all the food items which are available, every food item. But there has to be a discipline. But discipline doesn't say eat every 2 hours. That is not at all the concept of Ayurveda. Then we come to the character building. As it is a teacher's day, teachers have one of the biggest role to build the character of students. The character of students is built, then only good nation is built. And the first teacher, right now you have invited us because we are your academic teachers. You were in Chandigarh College and I was a teacher over there. So that is concerned with academics. But the first teacher is the lady who has conceived. The learning starts at the fetal life, Garbhavastha. So that lady who is a pregnant lady who is going to give birth to a child is the first teacher of that child. Then once that child comes out, the mother and father, they are the first teachers. Then the home, that is the first school. The persons who are sitting in that home, all the persons staying under that roof, they can be mother, father, parents, grandparents, uncles, aunts, brothers, sisters, all. They are all teachers. And it is rightly said for a learner who wants to learn something, the whole globe is a learner. A person will find Guru everywhere. The Himalayan range teaches us something. Chattan ki tarah khade raho. The river shows us some other path, provided we have that eye to learn something. That the chattan will come over there, the rock will come over there. You can't do anything to the rock, just change your path. We learn this from the river. We learn singing from the birds. We learn to stay erect from the trees. We learn from everything. We learn group working from ants. They always go in a group. So if we are a learner, we can learn from everywhere. And that is what is required. And as a teacher, everybody else is a teacher for everyone. I learn a lot of things from my children. At present, my son is a badminton player. So he is my coach as far as the sport is concerned. So we need to keep our eye open and learn everything from everyone, because everyone is a teacher. We can learn everything from everyone. So I would not take more time, because if I start, it's a huge knowledge which cannot be covered. As it is the Teachers' Day, what I feel is I'm very happy one of our students is doing very well, and you had very good remarks from Mr. Rajesh Sharma ji, as he is your neighbor, Dr. Arun also, and I would also like to say that yes, I'm very happy to see a student like this, and I wish you great success in your life, and maybe Ayurveda comes in a legal form in Australia. And the way Rajesh Sharma ji, he commented that we need to work at the global level, at the government level, and yes, you rightly quoted, my husband is one of the biggest person in India as well as the technical part is concerned, the technocrat, because he is advisor minister of Ayush. So I will give this message of Mr. Rajesh Sharma to my husband that please work more at the government sector so that we can bring this to Australia. And thank you so much, Vanita, for inviting us, and thanks to all the participants and all the teachers. Thank you so much. God bless everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Surinderji, for your beautiful blessings, and I'm blessed. And thank you for taking the initiative for spreading the message from Dr. Rajesh to Dr. Dinesh Katoch. I really offer you my gratitude. And now because we are just like running out of time, it's just like I would request quickly Toby Naji, who is my lecturer, and he's a business coaching, like founder of business coaching in Fiji, and a business education business, like which focuses on transforming people into successful entrepreneurs. So he's an experienced entrepreneur, educator, university lecturer in Swinburne University here, facilitator, mentor, and a business coach. So all I would request from for the 2-3 speakers are left, like, so just keeping time in mind, and we'll just have to wrap it up like quickly, because I think like another program is planned after. So I'm so sorry to rush all of you, but he's got a great academic background and a serial entrepreneur, as well as he's an honors in Bachelor of Engineering in Industrial and Computing, as well as Master of Entrepreneurship Innovation, the course that I studied with him, with honors, and a graduate certificate in learning and teaching. So I would get Toby to speak about his skills and experience himself, like rather than me wasting time. Thank you, and I invite you, Toby. Thanks.
Thank you, Vanita, and thank you for inviting me. So can everyone hear me okay?
Yes, yes.
Yes, okay, good. Good, and it's amazing to be with so many talented people. So once again, thank you for sharing knowledge. I really, really appreciate it, and I feel really humbled. Now, just to begin with, I was just looking at my phone, and it says, if you don't make time for your wellness, you will be forced to make time for your illness. And how appropriate is that, considering what we are sort of going through tonight? But I guess a little bit about myself. I was teaching Vanita, that's how we met. I was obviously a lecturer in ethics, and through the Masters of Entrepreneurship and Innovation program, which essentially helps people become entrepreneurs. Now, of course, the question is, can entrepreneurship be taught? And that's a sort of, after doing many years of research, you've sort of come to the conclusion and say that, yes, the skills can be taught, but the intrinsic desire has to be developed. So you can't, I guess, just go to university and just become an entrepreneur. Yes, you can learn the skills. So it's one of the things I have discovered. So I guess I have a little bit of a sidetrack here from I guess, Ayurveda. One of the focuses that I've been working on over the last, say, 20 years or so as an entrepreneur, but also as an academic, is to help people focus on what it is that can make them successful in entrepreneurship. And of course, people go out, start a business, and then they run with the whole thing, and then they realize they fail. And one of the aspects, of course, that I've discovered over the years is that it all comes back to the mindset. And what I have been discovering, I guess, through this research I've conducted, both on a practical level, but also on a more an academic level, is that people are given the wrong roadmaps in life. So the roadmap is important. It's normally set at about the age of 7. So if you get the wrong roadmap, then what can happen, of course, is we can make mistakes in life, bad judgments, lead to an area that, you know, maybe jail, prison, drug addict, whatever. So I guess understanding what that roadmap is the core of what I do teach and what I do develop in people. And of course, when I work with people, I also bring in a lot of Buddhist practices, and without being too religious or too spiritual or whatever it is, the fundamentals of Buddhism is practical work. And a lot of work I do is about raised around mindfulness. And these I guess trainings, when we're brought on a practical level, can make a significant advancement in people's mindsets. So, and one of the aspects, of course, when I work with people is try to help them, I guess, discover their purpose. Now, many people go on to do a business, and then I guess a lot of it is about trying to make money. People are always chasing money, right? And that's where a lot of these illnesses do come in, of course, stress, and as Dr. Chandler was saying earlier on, by having the wrong mindset. So part of the development work I do with people is developing this purpose. And I guess when I ask people what is their purpose in life, most people can't answer it. My answer, of course, is to find your gift and your gift in life. That's the purpose. What I believe is appropriate. And of course, Vanita has come along. I've seen her grow over the last. I've known her since about 2013, and she's grown dramatically. I helped Vanita set up her clinic in Melbourne, and I was encouraging her, almost pushing her, almost forcing her to do this. We got her branding done, everything was done, and she's gone on to blossom and become a world authority in the field of Ayurveda, and which I always believed that she could do. And I guess one of the things that I've seen over the years is she's actually developed her gift and been able to leverage that gift of hers. And part of having a gift, of course, is also my teaching is what we do is try to develop greatness in people. And everyone has an opportunity to be great, except what happens is we give them the wrong roadmap. We never discover those, what it takes to become great. Because we're too busy trying to do day-to-day things. We get married, we have kids, we forget about things, and then we get to a point in life where, we're just about to pass away. And the biggest regret, of course, with all people is, I wish I had done that earlier on. So in tying up to what I have to say just quickly is keep going, keep developing greatness. That's really important. Develop your gift, and each of you are gifted people, so I'm sure you've all developed your gifts to a certain level. But as far as, I guess, Ayurvedic practitioners, we need to spread that word. We need to get it going. We need to get it going in Australia as well. And so I guess that's where I'll wrap it up here, because I know we're running short of time. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Toby. It was such an honor, and you are absolutely right. Like, we need to learn greatness and appreciate and have that gratitude. Thankfulness, giving is very important in our life, more than any other education. I really appreciate what you have given me to sustain my living in life and everywhere. So my gratitude again to you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for making your presence and leaving this beautiful message across the whole community, especially on the Teachers' Day. So bless you. And
I really enjoyed tonight as well. It's been interesting. Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's wonderful. Thank you so much. You've been really humble. And now, I would like to invite Dr. Sangita Gupta, the better half of Dr. Arun Gupta, and she actually was my teacher in Dhanvantari Ayurvedic College, as well as she's currently practicing in New Delhi, and professor and HOD Department of Rog Nidan, Faculty of Indian System of Medicine, SGT University, Gurugram, India. And she has over 20 years of teaching experience and has even practiced in Europe for 3 years. She's been advisor to Shivananda Yoga Center and talking online classes for promotion of Ayurveda for self-diagnosis and self-healing. So I hand it over to you, and welcome on board, Professor Sangita. And thank you so much for coming today. Thanks. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. A very good evening to all. And it's a very special day for me. My teachers are here, Dr. Chandola, Madam Katoj, and on the same time, Vanita, my student, is here. And it's really appreciating what you are doing for propagation of Ayurveda at the foreign land. And it's very good that today we have got privilege to hear so much learned people here. And it was again a feeling like we were in the classroom once. And I will like to say only a few points, 2-3 things about what we have discussed. Already, Madam discussed about Prakriti. We all Ayurvedic people are talking beautifully about the Prakriti and the maintenance of it. But actually, what I feel that if we see in the general people, they even don't know about the doshas and all. And an attempt must be made by us to make a platform for learning about Prakriti and diet and activity regime at the school level only. Today's in the school, there are dental checkups, there are basic health checkup organized at times. And at that time, Prakriti must be told to the children. Every children at the very basic level must know about his doshas, what are his elements, his or her elements, and what diet and activity must be followed in his or her life to maintain all that, and what problems can come to them. Similarly, for example, in the concept of Kriya Kal, there are only two symptoms for every doshas when the problem starts, and every children actually must know, so that when we are growing, they can study these symptoms in their body and be aware at the very basic level so that the disease process may not progress to further. So first thing is that. Second is like Chandola sir talked about the psychosomatic illnesses, and we all know that body follows the mind and mind follows the body. So behind the gross body is a subtle body of nadis and chakras, and that is actually the pranic body behind the physical body. So working on the prana by yogic and pranayam practices must also be learned by everyone, and the significance of it also must be known to everybody, that it is the pranic body which is actually controlling the physiological functions of the body or the physiological body. So second, in the psychosomatic component, we can talk about the mind, that in the books of psychology, there are a lot of illnesses, mental illnesses mentioned in details, but no book mentions about the mind, where the mind is situated in the body. So the answer lies again that our mind makes our desires makes our mind, and these actually lies in the form of sanskaras in our chakras, which actually is depicted in the form of desires to for different things. That concept also must be kept in mind while making the treatment, and we should work on the mind also and on the spirit also in the form of achar rasayan, for example, is mentioned everything in Ayurveda. So, and Madam Katoch also talk about that. These all must be taken together as lies in the definition sharir indriya sattva atma sanyogo. So working merely on the physical body can't fulfill the aim. And third point, I will like to say that if we see the modern medical system today, it is a full-fledged system. It is like a big tree having several branches, but answer to most of the illnesses is no cure. Because somewhere we can say that foundation is missing, and that foundation can be given by integrating Ayurveda to the modern system of medicine, because Ayurveda talks about Dincharya, Ritucharya and all, that is about the prevention of the health. And so, not talking much, all these 3 points, I think we must consider to propagate Ayurveda in general masses. So, thank you, Vanita, for organizing such a beautiful event. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Professor Sangita. It was such a pleasure to see you, like after so many years, and I feel humbled. And thank you for your wise thoughts and sharing your wisdom with us. And I really feel happy even for, and I want to congratulate Dr. Arun and all my gurus, like for whatever they have accomplished in their life. Like, so it's such an honor. And I would just call and invite, like now, Dr. Vijay Pratap Kushwaha, who is from Mumbai, but I just give like literally 2-3 minutes
No
to you,
problem.
just like having a class. And he's a CEO of Ayurveda in Mumbai. So thank you. I'll just have you to share like a few words. Thank you, Dr. Vijay.
Vanita, am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are.
Okay. So first of all, greetings of the Teachers' Day to all the Ayurveda gurus. And like we had a very good knowledgeable session. And as we all know that this pandemic has proved the efficacy of Ayurveda and need of Ayurveda for the whole world. So the whole world is looking for Ayurveda gurus, and we being in field of Ayurveda, let's get equipped and as Madam suggested, like all the schools have dental checkups and all those checkups. We can promote Ayurvedic checkups also and Prakriti Parikshan and all those things. Uh, and I very much believe that education is the only tool which can bring change in the society. So being the part of Ayurvedic community, let us geared up and let us make Ayurveda simple for the common people, for the common audience. Common audience cannot, like if we normally, I'll just take 1 minute, we have to simplify everything, has to go in a layman's language so that they can follow it. If we start talking about vata, pitta, kapha, prakriti and all those things, those people get like it becomes complicated to understand them. So we have to simplify, we have to speak in their own language, in the people's language. We have to make things very simplified and attract people towards our pathy, and then slowly, like we can teach them about self-pulse diagnosis and diet and cooking and all those things. So great meeting everybody, and Vanita, she's doing her best, and all my good wishes and support is always there with her. Uh, because as I said, that education is the only tool which can bring this thing, and like by having different topic sessions, like we are educating our own community also. So great thing, Vanita, and we learn from everybody. Even we learn from our own children, our own friends, So Savi Guru hai, pranam to all gurus, and uh, India was always Bisaguru for all the knowledge, Vedic knowledge. So yeah, let's move to that direction and bring back our heritage and our glory to the whole world. Thank you very much for inviting me and making part of this great event. All the best for all your future endeavors. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vijay Pratapji. And I would like to thank you, all of my respected gurus and teachers. Just requesting the blessings from all of you. Just keep your blessings as you always do for me. And my deep gratitude to you all. And yeah, we would definitely consider, maybe we need a little bit more time, but just with the time limitations, I have to say goodbye, namaste.